all children. Hope all are doing well after the long vacations. Again, welcome back to the SST classes. Okay, so we are discussing today chapter 2 on the trail of the earliest paper. I have already sent you the worksheet, question answers, notes, everything on the portal. Now we are going to discuss chapter 2 on the trail of the earliest people. The earliest people, why were they on the move? We know about people who lived in the subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago. Today we describe them as hunter-gatherers. We have already studied in chapter 1 hunter, who were hunter-gatherers. The name comes from the way in which they got their food. Generally, they hunted wild animals, caught fish and birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, stalks, and eggs. The immense variety of plants in the tropical land like ours meant that gathering plant produce was an extremely important means of obtaining food. So, hunter-gatherers means the name came from the way that they hunted animals for food. They hunted animals and also they gathered forest products like fruits, roots, everything for food. That's why they are called hunter-gatherers. Now, it's a very difficult task to obtain, to gather all these forest produce. Okay, none of these things was easy to do. There were several animals that run faster than us, many that are stronger. To hunt animals or catch fish and birds, people need to be alert, quick, and have lots of presence of mind. To collect plant produce, you need to find out which plants or parts of plants are edible, that is, can be eaten, as many can be poisonous. You also need to find out about the seasons when the fruits ripen. So all these things are the difficulties while collecting forest produce and while hunting the animals. It is very difficult. Some animals run faster than human beings and they are more stronger, and it is very difficult, and it is it is very difficult to catch fish and birds also, no? So and when we think about plants, what is the importance? They will not run, they will not go ahead, they will not go anywhere, but there are different types of plants are there. Some are poisonous, so we should be very careful. No, the early human beings had the knowledge of poisonous and edible. Edible means that can be eaten. So plants. No, so they had enough knowledge about the plants and the animals, everything. Okay. Now the next page. If you have a textbook, it's better to open the textbook and hear me. There are at least 4 reasons why hunter-gatherers moved from place to place. We discussed this in the first chapter. Again in the second chapter is coming. 4 reasons are saying that why the hunter-gatherers moved from place to place. First one is that if they had stayed at one place for a long time, they would have eaten up all the available plant and animal resources. Therefore, they would have to go to elsewhere in search of food. That is the first reason, because if they stayed at one place for a longer time, what will happen? They would have eaten all the things there. So they have to move for food. The second one is that animals move from place to place, either in search of smaller prey. Prey, prey means छोटे छोटे एनिमल्स जिसको ये लोग खाते हैं, इसको बोलते हैं प्रे, PREY, not prayer. Okay. Or in the case of deer and wild cattle, wild cattle, deer, ये सब क्या करता है? In search of grass and leaves. So these animals will run faster, and the human beings have to move in accordance with these small animals' movement. In search of grass and leaves, they move from place to place, and the people have to move with them. That is why those who hunted them had to follow their movements. The third point is that plants and trees. Wait a minute, I will show you. Third, plants and trees bear fruits in different seasons. So people may have moved from season to season in search of different kinds of plants. So different plants, different trees bear fruits in different seasons. अलग अलग season में fruits होते हैं trees में. So सीजन के अकॉर्डिंग लोगों को जाना पड़ता है, पीपल ह्यूमन बींग्स को जाना पड़ता है फॉर these fruits and vegetables. Now the fourth reason is that people, plants and animals need water to survive. Water is found in lakes, streams and rivers. While many rivers and lakes are perennial means with water throughout the year. पूरा साल में पानी होता है. ऐसा वाला rivers को क्या बोलते हैं? Perennial rivers mean rivers with water throughout the year. Others are seasonal. Some rivers are seasonal, means in summer season there will not be water, and in rainy season there will be water in such rivers. Such rivers are called as seasonal rivers. Okay, two types of rivers. People living on their banks would have had to go in search of water during the dry season, winter and summer season. Okay. Then, besides, people may have traveled to meet their friends and relatives. Remember, they traveled on foot. So, there were no vehicles, no transport facilities, though they moved on foot, otherwise on small animals. Okay. So, these are the four main reasons why people moved from place to place in search of food, in search of water, and moved according to the movement of the animals and all these things. Okay. All these are the reasons I have discussed in first chapter. That's why I am not discussing in detail. The next heading is then, how do we know about these people? How can we know about these people? Archaeologists have found some of the things hunter-gatherers made and used. It is likely that people made and used tools of stone, wood and bone, of which stone tools have survived best. So the people made some tools out of stone, wood and bone. So, and stone tools survived the most. Next page, I think you can see. Some of these stone tools were used to cut meat and bone, scrap bark and hides. Hides means animal skin. Animal skin क्या करेंगे? Scrap करने के लिए. And chop fruit and roots. Some may have been attached to handles of bone or wood to make spears and arrows for hunting. Other tools were used to chop wood, which was used as firewood. Wood was also used to make huts and tools. So, these are the uses of these tools, stone and bone tools, which were made by the early human beings. Here, if you don't have a textbook, I will show you the pictures of some stone tools used by the early people. These tools were used by the people to chop fruits and roots, scrap bark of and meat, cut meat and bone, and chop wood. All these are the uses of these tools. Okay, these are the two pictures are also given here. So when we are going to the next page, here it is choosing a place to live in. How they chose a place to live in, the early human beings. All the places marked with the red triangles in this map, I will show you the map, are sites from which archaeologists have found evidence of hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers lived in many more places, only some are shown on the map. Many sites were located near sources of water, such as rivers and lakes. So mostly we know that early human beings lived on the banks of rivers. And one more thing, special thing you are going to learn is that as stone tools were important, we learn stone tools. They used stone tools to hunt animals and cut vegetables, fruits, meat, everything, and for other purposes also. So as stone tools were important, people tried to find places where good quality stone was easily available. Choosing a place to live means the reasons why people stayed near a river, near the places where good quality stones are available. Okay, so these are the important reasons why they want to drink water, they have to grow crops. That's why they have to live near the river, any water body. And the second thing is that, listen here, people try to find places where good quality stone was easily available. Places where stone was found and where people made tools were known as factory sites. Factory sites means जहाँ अच्छे good quality strong stone were there, and also where people lived. Where people made tools. Okay, the place where good quality stones were available and people made these tools. Such places are called factory sites. How do we know where these factories were? Usually we find blocks of stone, tools that were made and perhaps discarded because they were not perfect, and chips of waste stone left behind at these sites. So at some places these archaeologists find out that discarded tools were found by the archaeologists. And chips of waste stone left behind means when they are making a stone tool, the finishing they didn't get the finishing, and what will happen? They will throw it out. They don't want them. They wanted a sharp tool, so they will throw it out. And what happens at that such remains, such a stone tools, such a imperfect stone tools were found by the archaeologists sometimes. That is why we know that people lived there and people made stone tools, and they used stone tools for hunting and everything. Okay, so sometimes people lived here for longer spells of time. These sites are called habitation cum factory sites. Habitation is the people lived there. Habitation means where people lives. Habitation is there, and also factory sites are also there. Factory sites mean where people made stone tools. So these places where people lived and they also made stone tools, such places are called habitation cum factory sites. Okay, and only where people made stone tools, such places are called factory sites. That is only factory sites. And if people lived there for a long time, such places are called habitation cum factory sites. Is it clear? Now we will go to the next page, making stone tools. How people made stone tools. Stone tools were probably made using two different techniques. The first is called stone on stone. Here the pebbles from which the stone tool was to be made, also called the core. Core means the stone with which a stone tool is made. That stone is called core. core से बनाते हैं tool. Was held in one hand. Another stone which was used as a hammer was held in the other hand. The second stone was used to strike off flakes from the first till the required shape was obtained. I will explain this after reading the second one. Okay, pressure. The second method is that pressure flaking. Here the core was placed on a firm surface. The hammer stone was used on a piece of bone or stone that was placed on the core to remove flakes that could be shaped into tools. I will explain you these two methods of making stone tools. Okay, so suppose this is a stone, this is a core means with which we have to make a stone tool. Okay, so this is a core, and the first method is that the first is called stone on stone method. We are using this stone to make a tool. So what will happen, what will do, the tool was to be made, the core, this is the core, and another stone which was used as a hammer was held in other hand. This is core, another stone is here. Okay, so what we are doing, strike off flakes from it, strike off flakes from the core. From the core we are striking off flakes from this stone, and what will happen, this core will become sharp, this side will become sharp when we strike off. इससे काटते हैं एक एक पीस. So क्या होता है, ये sharp होता है और tool बन जाता है. Okay, this is the first method. Another method is that the core, here the core was placed on a firm surface में रखता है. Otherwise in the first method we are keeping it on our hand and we are striking it. Okay, so in the second method it is kept on a firm surface, and the second hammer stone will be kept on the top of it. Okay, and another, they are using another stone or bone, anything else, and what happens, what will they do, they will strike it. Stone that placed on the core to the hammer stone was used on a piece of bone or stone that was placed on the core to remove flakes. So another stone or bone will take and strike it to remove the flakes from here. Okay, here only the difference is that they are using the third one, and strike it to make the core sharp, to make a new tool. That is the two types of making stone tools. It is not so difficult, it is very easy, but you have to learn the answers very well. So the rest of the chapter will be discussed in the next class. Watch the video 2-3 times carefully. If you have a textbook, read the chapter 2-3 times very carefully. Learn the question answers and notes everything. Okay, have a nice day. Thank you.